Thanks a lot for staying with us on TVC Breakfast. It's 100 days now since President Bola Tinubu assumed office as the fifth Nigerian president since 1999. Before he assumed office, he had promised to do everything within his capacity to restore the lost hopes of Nigerians. Some of the reforms he's made so far to rejuvenate the economic situation of the country within this period are fuel subsidy removal, unifying the foreign exchange regime, investing in infrastructure, promoting agriculture, as well as supporting SMEs and tax reforms. The president, since May the 29th, has consistently shown his commitment towards the growth of Nigeria, and that's what we'll be discussing next with our guest who joins us via Zoom from the United States to discuss this. His convener, Social Rehabilitation, Grace and Support Initiative, Dr. Marindoti. Oludare, thank you for joining us again on TVC Breakfast. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Ken, for having me.
Right. So looking at how well the president has started and what he's done so far in terms of hitting the ground running, what's it been like for you?
For me, I would have to say that the president has been A1 since day one. You see, I said this during the campaign that this man is the man with the BBC, that he has the brains, the bronze, and the courage that Nigeria needs to ride on to success. And that is what he has manifested, from the first day of his administration. I believe that the onset of this administration will mark the beginning of the end of bad governance in the history of Nigeria. Because you can ask Lagos, once you go bad, you never go back. He is starting a revolution in Nigerian government. So, I always say that in terms of Nigeria, I always say that Asiwaju is going to be the FDR of Nigeria. You see, today is the 100th day of the Asiwaju administration. But where did we get this whole 100 days? It started from a man called Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is the 32nd president of the United States. He was the president that was elected when they had the Great Depression. He was the president that was elected during the Second World War. And he led them out of that successfully. And that is the same thing that Asiwaju is going to do also in this what's it called. So now that we've spoken about FDR had over like 77 bills within his first 100 days. It was also called Baba Go Fast, in quotes, back then in the United States. So let's go to a little bit of the policies that had been implemented and just try and give a bit of an analysis of them. So we can start with definitely the elephant in the room, the fuel subsidy removal. To me, I said this during the campaign too, that removing subsidy needs tax, because when you think about it, what happens every time an attempt to remove subsidy occurs is that the cabals essentially blackmail the government. They cause scarcity and increase the price. So by Asiwaju announcing it when they did not expect, it deprived them the response time. So subsidy has gone. Now Labour just had like 2 days of warning strike, 100 days after subsidy has been removed. Had he waited, he probably would have had a strike the next day, because this subsidy is something that needs to go. And when we talk about the fixing the refineries, I believe, from my own point of view, that the subsidy is one of the reasons the refineries can't work. Because if we are having a system whereby the subsidy is not even being paid for 18 months, if you are going to invest so much money in a business and they are telling you, well, you might not pay you for 18 months, how will you run that business? So if we want our refineries to work, that subsidy has to go first. I understand that, yes, that Nigeria is suffering and Nigerians are suffering, and no. But this is the pain of today that will guarantee us the gain of tomorrow. Without crucifixion, there will be no resurrection. And the president would need to. They've spoken about it. Increasing the minimum wage and all. And while you might be getting impatient with the administration that, okay, when are you going to do all of this? We have to think about this too, that there is also inflation in the markets. And when I thought about it too, like the Minister of Finance said, they want to reduce money supply to control inflation. So how do you then reduce money supply and then also increase salary? Which these are like some of the challenges that I'm sure they are trying to balance and come out with more of those plans. If they are going to import CNG buses, even if you bought all of the buses today, it will take time to get on the ship to get to Nigeria. So these are some of the policies that Labor and everybody needs to be, patient with that. I think they have not been.